All right, you chose the one who you knew was going to hurt you. And now we're going to talk about why. I'm Brother Derek, and we're going to discuss the illegitimate game. We've all played it. We've all been hurt. We've all lied, cheated, and stole. We've all manipulated people. I've manipulated women dozens of times. Women have manipulated me dozens of times. But why do we choose the one who we know is going to hurt us? Why? Well, it's part of the dating game. And it's an illegitimate game because we're not doing it the way God expects us to do it. We do it our own way. We do it to pursue our own pleasure. We do it for our own pride. And sometimes we love the drama. I mean, just think about how many relationships you were in that were really good, but you called the other person boring. I've dated boring women because all they talked about was school and college, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to run the streets. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to join the Wu-Tang Clan. I didn't want to go to church. I still remember this one girl I dated, real good girl, and her mother was cool. And we worked together in the same factory. And she kept asking me to go to church on Sunday, and I didn't want to go to church. So these were positive influences. But then we ruin those relationships and we date the person we think is exciting. We date the drama. It's like we want the suspense, especially when you're young and teenager, early 20s, because you think you don't want to get married anyway. But then when you're 30 and 40, you can't find nobody good. Maybe we all bruised each other, and now none of us are happy, and none of us can trust each other in our 30s. Then in your 40s, you're just dating for security. You don't even love the person. You just marry somebody who has a 401k and some insurance. So it's an illegitimate game because we ruined it from the beginning, and then we end up paying for it later. Like the Bible said, you reap what you sow. But when the game begins, it's always about who can I manipulate. You date the person you can take advantage of. You don't date the person that confronts you or challenges you. You date the person you can control. And control is a major component of this illegitimate game we're playing. Because I don't want to get hurt first, so maybe I could play you and hurt you first. Because I don't trust you because I'm moving with fear, I want to hurt your feelings before you hurt mine. How much money can I get out of you? How much attention can I get? How much entertainment can I get? What can I get before you hurt me? So then when you hurt me, it's cool. That whole concept is wrong. So we find people who can please us physically, financially, or even stimulate you mentally, because it's all entertainment anyway. Because I want to be entertained. It's like, can we travel? How good is the sex? How much attention are you going to give me? How much can I get by giving the least? That's not even love. It's manipulation from the beginning. It's kind of like this new word they got now, everybody's a narcissist. Well, you're both narcissists. And it's just a matter of time before it explodes. Because nobody's moving in fear. And neither one of you trust each other. And then we also, when you're playing the dating game, you're just trying to fill a void. Because you really don't want to be alone. And you need the attention because you don't want to be by yourself. Or maybe you don't love yourself. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't have a void. If you loved yourself, you wouldn't be afraid to be alone. If you loved yourself, then you would know how to properly love another person. So that begins with what? Self-reflection. So you got to get right with God, but we don't want to get right with God because we're doing our own thing. That's what makes the game dirty. And if the whole game's corrupt, everybody's going to get dirty, no matter what you do. It's just a matter of the price. So we're always trying to give the least and take the most. That's why the dating game it's a dangerous place. And something I noticed recently, I see this a lot on Instagram. I need to get off Instagram, but it's entertaining. Why do people find joy in breaking up and ghosting someone? Why are so many people celebrating the breakup? It's almost like the breakup is a greater event than the marriage. The breakup is greater than the actual relationship. There's so many people, I'm single now, that person hurt me, now it's all about me. Like, why are you celebrating the breakup? Why do we celebrate pain? Why do you want that kind of attention? And why does someone hurting you cause you to love yourself more? Like, what kind of suffering is that? It's almost like the pain is stimulating. Why isn't the joy stimulating? Why isn't peace stimulating? Can we spend more time celebrating peace? Like, we got the game backwards. It's almost like I got hurt, now I'm back in the gym. It's like, why weren't you in the gym when you two were together? Why would you break up and get divorced and then lose 50 pounds? What if you took care of yourself while you two were together? That's just love. And because you're loving yourself and you're disciplined, now you could actually take care of your other significant other, your loved one. Especially if you're married. Why would you get divorced and then lose 100 pounds? But right now we're talking about dating. We didn't even get to the marriage part yet. The other part of this illegitimate game that is just off is fulfilling stereotypes. Like I said in the beginning, you chose the one who you knew would hurt you. You knew it was going to happen. You predicted it. You saw it. God told you. You already knew it, and you chose that person anyway. And now you're celebrating the pain and you're celebrating the drama. And with your carefully crafted friends, you keep running to them, sharing the gossip and telling the stories about what went wrong. That's the character you're playing, the victim. And then when you're always the victim, you have to find more opportunities to be victimized because that is who you are. You're not even picking the good person because if there's nothing to complain about, now you have to change. If you're dating someone good, now your spots are shown. But if that person's dirty and you're dirty, you can hide it. So oftentimes you avoid the good person and you don't want a good relationship. Because if it's good, now you have to be good. And if you have to be good, now we might get married. Now I have to be responsible. Because we always got to tell the truth. All success, all victory comes with responsibility. As long as you're in a dysfunctional relationship, you can do what you want to do. If you know your spouse is cheating, you can cheat. If you're dating somebody who you know is going to disappear for 3 days, you can do what you want to do. But then you run to your friends and cry, yo, I ain't seen my girl, I haven't seen my man, but you're doing the same thing. So you choose the one that's going to hurt you because you don't want to do right either. Like, it's an illegitimate game. And everybody's going to get hurt. So then you learn rules to play that game, and then you learn how to lie, cheat, and steal. I still remember the first time I saw a ghost phone. It's like the opening page wasn't even real. There's a whole nother profile under the profile, so you can't even get to the phone numbers in the pictures. It's almost like 2 different profiles on the same phone, like 2 different operating systems. I still remember the first time I saw that, it scared me. So we're creating a game with no trust. So how do you play a game with no trust? You can't. You're gonna have your own anxieties, your own fears, and then you're gonna learn how to lie. You're gonna learn how to be deceptive, and you're gonna learn how to not get caught. So imagine playing the illegitimate game and then getting married. You're both liars. How successful is that marriage going to be? So what's the solution? The solution is don't even play the game at all. And if you really want to know if somebody really loves you or cares, go celibate. Don't have sex for 6 months and see what happens. A lot of the manipulation is going to be gone because there's no physical incentive. Now I really have to know the person. If you meet a woman that says, I'm not going to have sex with you for 6 months, now we have to actually talk and get to know each other. And then all your true motives are going to come out. So don't play the game at all. And then you're creating a peaceful life. Because if you're not having sex, you don't have to worry about STDs. There are no children. There's no child support. There's no fear. And then there's no spiritual soul tie. You're actually just talking and getting to know each other. And just be single for a while. Like if you're playing this game now, get out. Just be single for a while. Just make up in your own mind, I'm going to be single for 12 months. Watch what happens. You spend those 12 months alone, you're going to fix yourself. You're going to fix your voids. You can heal all your mama and daddy wounds. You're going to find out what you really like and what you really don't like. Because when you do hang out with people, there's no connection, there's no commitment. So you can just go bowling and go home. You can go to the movies and go home. You can go to the beach and go home. You're going to learn so much about you that you really don't need anybody. And then when you do finally settle down with someone, you know they're right and exact because now you're right and exact because you spent this time alone to find out what you really like and don't like. And there's no soul tie because you're not having sex. Read your Bible every day. Learn how to control your spirit. Learn how to control your emotions. Find out what your triggers are. Because we play this game for so long, we become corrupt. And sometimes, just to be honest, you really don't know who you are. Like, I changed so many times. I've been with my wife 23 years. I changed so many times. There were years I didn't even know who I was. Because I came into the game corrupt. It took me years to find out who I am. Then I'm still changing and growing because God's getting bigger and he's humbling me even more. And then don't submit to the stereotypes and avoid that media propaganda. If you spend too much time on social media, they're going to tell you how to act and tell you how to judge people. They're going to tell you what to expect. And 90% of that stuff is a lie. But when we all believe it, we act it out. We act a certain way because we expect to act a certain way. I still remember the joke about the all-black Air Force Ones. Every time you see somebody with all-black Air Force Ones, you automatically assume they're crazy or something wrong with them. I don't know who started that, but it's just one of them stereotypes, and it's kind of funny. Just like playing basketball with Tim's on it, you crazy. And I used to do that every day. But everybody has these propagandas and these stereotypes that they're selling. Just like the women with the long eyelashes, you automatically assume something. But it may not be true. But we prejudice people, we bias people, we judge people because we're taught that. That ruins the dating game. It corrupts the dating game because you're judging a person and you don't even know them yet. You don't even know their story. And surround yourself with spiritual people. Go to somebody's church. Join a Christian group. And I'm sure you got your hang-ups about that too. But you have to get right with God first before you try and date somebody else. Yeah. And so some of you are in the game, and let's say you are engaged right now and you're trying to find some answers. Let's say you do want to get married. Let's say you are happy and peaceful, but you want to go into this thing the right way. And you want it to last. Surround yourself with some spirit-filled married couples that's been together 10, 20, 30 years. Learn what it really means to be married. Learn the true definition of love and what love really is. Because love is not about what you can take from a person. It's about what you can give. The man's supposed to give a woman 100. The woman's supposed to give a man 100. It's not about manipulation, and it's not about who has the advantage. It's a constant giving. And that makes you vulnerable. That means you have to trust the person. You're operating with faith and not fear. And when you both give 100, you're both going to be totally satisfied because it's always better to give than receive anyway. That's also a biological response. All the pleasure centers in the brain go off when you give. It's actually stronger. I just saw a video and the scientist was explaining it. When you give a gift to someone, you feel the same sensation they feel when they receive it, but yours is actually stronger. And that's biological, and Jesus also said it's better to give than receive. But scientists actually discovered this. The pleasure center in the brain goes off for the one giving. And when I saw that video, it also verified something else. Why do we love Christmas so much? Because everybody's giving something. People are so happy to buy 5 or 6 gifts for their 5 or 6 friends. So it's actually a fact, and we actually practice it without even realizing it. Christmas is the happiest time of the year because everybody's giving. It's not always what I got. Like for years, we listen to people brag about, yo, I bought this, I bought this, I bought this. Everyone's so happy about what they bought the other person. Very few people, especially as adults, we don't always brag about what we got. We talk about what we bought. I got my son a new PlayStation. I got my wife a new pair of boots. Like, we talk about what we bought. So it's always better to give than receive. So love is giving. It's not taking. The person who's always taking in the relationship, that's the person living off of fear. That's the person everyone calls the narcissist because they're always taking. But what are you actually giving? That's what love is. So if you want to have a functional marriage, find out people who've been married 10, 20, 30 years because they already made the mistakes. And the first thing God gonna do is get to the real you. So we play this illegitimate game and create these characters, and we're putting on this body armor because we're expecting to be hurt. Because we've been hurt. Like, you can't even be intimate with body armor on. How you gonna hug each other and you're both wearing body armor? You can't do it. So you have to be vulnerable first. But who wants to be vulnerable? So we gotta get out the game. Like, that's the solution. Don't let fear guide your decisions. Move with faith and love. And when you find the other person who's thinking the same way, you'll come together because you'll attract each other, because they'll be willing to give and not take. And you have to be willing to give and not take. And then when you're thinking in your right mind, you're not going to choose that one that's going to hurt you, because now you're functioning with the right and exact energy. As long as you're playing the game with body armor and you're expecting to get hurt, you're going to choose somebody to hurt you because you're still playing the game, because you're really not ready to settle down anyway. So we have to get out the game and think clear, get right with God, learn the true definition of love, surround yourself with spiritual people that's going to pray for you, and then you will never again choose the one that's going to hurt you. You're going to choose the one you want to give, and they're going to choose you because they want to give. And you both agree. So until next time, peace.